Super Bowl 60 is coming up this weekend, and it is a very unique event because it is the championship in the NFL, and there's still one team that people have major question marks about. So today, let's take a look at the path that brought the New England Patriots to Super Bowl 60 and why everyone has so much doubt around this particular football team. The road to Santa Clara for the New England Patriots wasn't all paved in gold, as it actually got off to a bit of a tough start to the season, as the Pete Carroll, Geno Smith era in Las Vegas, I'm just choked up thinking about it. It got off to a good start for Vegas as they picked up the win on opening week against the New England Patriots, and it was there was a lot of buzz around the Patriots coming into the season. Made the draft for Campbell at tackle, brought in Mike Vrabel, a lot of buzz, playing in a bad division, one of the easiest schedules in the sport. But then as the offseason was winding down, it felt like a lot of that optimism was starting to fade away a little bit, and people were looking at, okay, what is this team actually, though? And so it feels funny to say this now, but at that time, the Raiders were actually where a lot of that optimism was landing. It was going from New England to Vegas. And so Vegas picking up a objectively ugly win over New England in week 1 really didn't do much to slow that down. Patriots then get a win over the Dolphins, but then lost to the Steelers. And so there's a little bit of, okay, yeah, it's just, they're a year away. That's fine. They're going to be there, but this isn't going to be the year that we thought it was. And then they beat back-to-back playoff teams in a win over the Carolina Panthers, and then they get a few people's attention with a good win over the Buffalo Bills. And now we get to why this Patriots team in this Super Bowl is a little bit scrutinized. Because yes, that was the start of a 10-game winning streak for the New England Patriots. However, as has been documented, here are the quarterbacks that they beat during that stretch. We are not cherry picking or anything like that. These are just straight line, the quarterbacks they beat in the 10-game win streak. Spencer Rattler, Cam Ward, Dillon Gabriel, Michael Penix Jr., Baker Mayfield, Justin Fields, Joe Flacco with no Jamar Chase, and Jaxson Dart. Then they had a 4-point loss against the Bills in what was actually a game I think that did more for them to kind of build up their stock than any of those wins that I talked about. But then after that, they beat Tyler Huntley, Lamar Jackson combo. They beat Brady Cook and then Quinn Ewers. So not a murderer's row. I think that it was like that they've played X amount of fired coaches and offensive coordinators as well. Like just a really, really bad stretch of quarterbacks that they were able to take advantage of. They get to the playoffs and they haven't really proven anything either. Justin Herbert with a significantly compromised offensive line. CJ Stroud with no Nico Collins, and then very early in the game, no Dalton Schultz, and no concept of how to handle snow or cold weather, even a little bit. And then they played Jarrett Stidham in the conference championship, who is very much Jarrett Stidham. So there wasn't really this opportunity to be like, no. Now we are this team. Now you can see that we are these dudes. So should we hold that against them? On one hand, no. Like, you can only play who is in front of you. On the other hand, like, this is an absurd run of lack of quality that you have faced in a football team. So I don't really view this still as a team that we would be seriously considering in a lot of other years. I think we talked about it on Monday's show. I think if you went back over the last 10 Super Bowls, so the last 20 Super Bowl teams, I think this team is toward the bottom. Doesn't mean they will be there for long. And again, we're talking about the teams that made the Super Bowl. I'm not saying oh man, if the Raiders had that schedule, they'd be here. They still had to beat those teams. And they are still at the Super Bowl. A lot of teams would love to be the worst Super Bowl team of the last 10 years. That's just where these guys are at this particular time. Doesn't mean they can't win on Sunday. They've shown they beat the Bills. So they've beat a good team and quarterback this season. We will see if Sam Darnold can kind of fall into that realm as well. But I do think that this is a good football team. I think they're an offseason away from being a great football team, and I think we're going to find that out coming up here on Sunday at the Super Bowl. So that's the road to Santa Clara for the New England Patriots. We will get to that of Seattle's here in just a little bit. But if you have any disagreement on what I was saying, let me know in the chat. I'm imagining Patriots fans not stoked at my take on how their team got to the Super Bowl and what it tells us about how they could potentially be in this one. But if I haven't annoyed you too much, well, then you can take me with you wherever you go, and that's in podcast form. You can check out Couch Potato Diary on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.